Hey everyone, today we asked people in Washington D.C. what they found to be the most challenging aspect of the pandemic and how they dealt with it. Enjoy.
I guess it's different for everyone. For me, it's been the woman that raised me, my grandmother, was diagnosed with cancer last March. And so it kind of, what it did for me was it kind of shoved mortality right in my face. And so it's really centered my sense of grounding for being present. So it's been challenging, but it's been ultimately beneficial for my life. I feel like I'm living day to day, which has been great. My grandmother luckily has become healed from that, and now we're finding a good stride again.
Wow, that's great. I wasn't expecting that story to end in a happy,
Ended a very happy
way. Yeah, so it just made you kind of appreciate life more and be more.
Yeah, more day to day.
Yeah. How have you? Has there been any techniques for that, or how have you just been having that present state of mind? Or
Yeah, that's a good question. I think some practical ways I go about it is I've taken up this Wim Hof, this breathing and cold showers, and it creates I know it sounds kind of funny and silly, but it creates a weird sense of presence every single day. It's intentional breathing, and then I also am a believer, and I have taken some intentional time to start seeing a psychiatrist, and it's really slowed my life down. Not so worried about what's to come, worried about what's in front of me. It's been nice to kind of be where my feet at. Yeah, so I've enjoyed it. Yeah, I took up triathlon, so it's been an interesting year of like a dichotomy of suffering paired with, it's been some good things. It's been a blessing. It's weird to say, you know. It's an interesting thing to say that it's been a blessing over the past 12 months when there's kind of immense suffering going on. But the suffering's always going on. It's just kind of in our faces now.
The most challenging aspect? Probably the socialization.
or the lack of.
Missing that, and like most people, I'm sure I moved here in March when things kind of shut down, and just like missing like the essence of DC, you know?
So how have you dealt with that isolation or, loss of socialization?
I don't know, I guess like working around it, right? Like finding ways to be outside and picnic park. I was able to still go into work, so I still socialize at work. But I mean, work kept me sane, being able to go into the hospital, but still different, yeah.
Being locked behind, behind four walls, and, not having access to a lot of mental health resources. So it's been pretty sad. So the hardest part is just maintaining positive attitude and a healthy mind because you've been stuck inside.
I feel you. So how have you been dealing with that, that loss of being able to go outside? Yeah.
I have a therapist now, but it's expensive. And so I know I'm not the only person suffering, but I wish there was more resources for other people who don't have the finances or the other resources to get the help that they need. And I've just been coping by doing things like walking and being able to communicate with friends and family via text, whether that be FaceTime or Messenger. So that's helped.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Oh man, I hate sitting at home. I'm the kind of person who wants to get outside and go to work and everything, talk to my friends, see my friends in person, so that's probably the hardest.
And how did you deal with that, that challenge of, loneliness or isolation from not being able to go to work?
Well, I went outside a lot. I was taking bike rides a bunch last April, kind of like seeing friends with masks on. And then I work in healthcare, so eventually they brought us back into work. So, seeing people at work.
Yeah. I traveled a lot for my job, and then that came to a halt. And I didn't realize how much I was dependent on just traveling around. I mean, it wasn't like big flights anywhere. I mean, we did travel, fly, but most of mine was driving. But 1 or 2 nights here, a couple times a week. And I didn't realize how integrated it was in my life. And then when it all stopped, I realized I could never have just a regular office job. So, I mean, that's what I missed the most. The most challenging was just not being able to go and do that. How did I cope with it? Not that great. I don't know. Denial, I guess. I just kind of shut down a bit. But once I started going back to the gym, I felt a little bit better. At least it was some place to go. You know.
Like a healthy activity to do every day makes you feel a little bit better afterwards.
Well, I could see after I was like always just sitting around the house that my body started hurting more and more. And I thought it was it wasn't used to it. And so once I started going back to the gym in the morning a couple times a week, all nervous and anxious, you know, I could see then it became a balance, right? Okay, well, risk versus, you know, losing my mind. And so anyway, but now I'm vaccinated so I feel much better.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I've had 2 shots now, so yeah. But I'm still wearing 2 masks. Yeah.
A lot of weed and video games mostly, but being alone is definitely the hardest part. And you know, hopefully everything will start getting back to normal soon.
What's been the most challenging aspect of the pandemic for you, and how have you dealt with it?
I've not been able to travel Europe, so I've traveled domestically. That's it. And the fact that you can't just dine out with friends.
That you can't dine?
In other words, dine outside your house with friends without going into a street with these makeshift.
So where would you normally go to Europe, and where have you been traveling domestically instead to, you know, make up for that?
Typically go to France or Italy by this time. Instead, I just got back from Arizona, the Grand Canyon. And
how was that?
It was great.
I would say not being at school, hardest part. How have I dealt with it? I don't know, how have you dealt with it?
Online school's been tough. Virtual classes, Zoom, everything.
Yeah, I think you just gotta keep going. Yeah, same as her. That's the same.
Do you guys go to university or what's?
I'm in high school.
And I'm in grad school.
Grad school. So both online classes for both though, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in medical school, and it's hard to learn about patients and treating people online.
I can imagine. And so how have you dealt with that, you know, that challenge, I guess? How have you?
Doing classes with friends with masks, and just like doing classes outside, take advantage of the opportunity. Yeah, about the same. Go outside, take breaks. Yeah.
Most challenging, I'll probably say, the mask. Yeah, probably the mask, adapting to that. And just staying healthy, period. Being away from family as well. Not doing too many things outside functions with my family, that's about it.
So how have you dealt with that? How have you coped with it?
I mean, I've coped with it fine. Just been chilling with my girlfriend mainly, so we spend a lot more time together. But other than that, that's about it. She been keeping me peace through the whole thing.
For me, like, I graduated high school at the same time the pandemic started.
Oof.
It was like
We missed prom.
We missed everything.
And then we missed like graduation.
I didn't really
like a
feel
bunch
like
of our
I was
senior.
actually graduating high school, I guess. Kind of felt more like they said, here, take your degree and just go, you know, you're on your own.
And then spending like freshman year in college, just like virtual, has been really hard because like I haven't been able to meet anyone, and like it's just hard because of like the pandemic and like no in-person classes or whatever. So that kind of sucks.
Big thing for like college is like the clubs and organizations and things.
Yeah.
And I just can't do any of those
Like
at all.
sororities, fraternities, everything being virtual, like it sucks. Like I dropped my sorority because I was like, fuck this. Like I was like, screw it.
Yeah. Just not worth it, I guess.
So how have you guys been dealing with that, you know, that loss of, how have you been dealing with, you know, to cope with it?
I guess like on Saturdays like today, we're just, you know, going to spend as much time as we can just being out and open. It feels somewhat normal, like being out in the area.
It sucks 'cause, like we're dating and we're long distance, so like we're 4 hours away, but like I can't go visit him because like of strict COVID whatever like rules. So whenever he comes home, like after his like quarantine period, it's the time I can see him. So we're just spending our day out.
That's it for us. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.